Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, what we really go over is how to use functional medicine data and ultimately information on our own bodies to optimize our own health, wellness, and performance for entrepreneurs, executives, and quite frankly, anybody who's looking to level themselves up. So if you're new, make sure you subscribe so you get all these new videos that are coming out on a weekly basis and any other content that we're filtering through here. Now, today, what we're going to go into is what is the difference between normal blood testing at the serum level versus blood testing at the cellular level. Now, we all know that we are made up of cells. That's what literally our body is constructed of. Billions and billions of cells make up our entire body. And there's things like the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell that ultimately filters out into the rest of our body and allows us to do a bicep curl, allows us to jump up and down, allows us to metabolize food, allows us to blink, allows us to speak, allows us to understand information. And so we can start to understand why the cell is so important in our body. But yet whenever we are truly figuring out what we're deficient in, or we're getting our health tested through different blood testings or different traditional work, we're just looking at the serum level. And there's an issue with that, because what can end up happening is we can have, let's give a perfect example. We can have high levels of vitamin B in our bloodstream, but yet it's not actually being metabolized and absorbed into the cell. Thus, the cell is deficient in vitamin B, and thus the expression through the rest of the body is going to be that of fatigue, is that going to be that of low immunity, because our body is not utilizing the vitamin B the way it should through the cellular level. And dysfunction ultimately originates at that cellular level. So if we're just looking at the blood serum and not looking at what's happening cellularly, we're missing a big picture. And I can give you an example of what we might be seeing here. So if I pull up this sample report here, this is what a typical blood specimen would look like. Okay, the specimen was from a lab. We were taking a look at cortisol levels. We were taking a look at DHEA, estrogen, and free testosterone. But this was done through just blood serum. Okay, so the hormones that are floating around in the blood. Now, when we go and actually take a peek at the cellular level from this type of report, we're now getting much deeper into true understanding of what's going on at that cellular level. And so we have an automatic here, functional deficiencies. So what that means is a functional deficiency is how is our body utilizing these different items within our cell. So we see here that chromium has an issue with being absorbed into the bloodstream or from the bloodstream into the cell and actually utilized. Okay, glucose insulin. What we ultimately find out is that our cell is jacked up with the glucose, okay? Really high insulin levels. Thus, we need to change the types of foods that we're eating. So obviously eating foods that are low on the glycemic index. And if we're eating foods that are higher on the glycemic index, pairing them with whole foods, proteins, fatty foods that will slow the release, or putting some type of walk or activity after that high glycemic load. Glutathione, okay, again, we're going to have to really increase that NAC and take a dose with every single meal so that we can improve the nutrient absorption into the cell. Vitamin B, vitamin B1 and B3, ultimately deficient at that cellular level, where we would start to see the immune function and energy depletion in that individual. So we're no longer looking just at what's flowing through the blood. We're actually taking a look at what's happening deep into the cell. And we can actually start to see that where we are in terms of immune function versus age, and if it's strong or weak. And by understanding this, we get a much better look into how our body's functioning and why certain things are happening. We're no longer just taking a peek and saying, oh, this test and this test and this test all come together and provide some type of value, or maybe no value at all. We actually have a purpose in what we're doing. And we can start to see that we take a look at a very vast array of vitamins at that cellular level, as well as minerals that operate our bodies: vitamin B, amino acids, metabolites, carbohydrate metabolism, antioxidants. We've heard of all these words, but we've never had a way to truly measure how the body's absorbing, how the body's using, and how the body's metabolizing these items in our body. Now, I always say that we earn our way to disease. We don't go to bed one night and wake up in the morning and all of a sudden have developed metabolic syndrome, or all of a sudden developed chronic fatigue syndrome, or all of a sudden developed diabetes. It just doesn't happen that way. We earn our way into it because of certain habits, because of certain lifestyle choices, because of certain processes that we go through on a day-to-day basis. Now, if we had a better picture view as to how our body cells were reacting and ultimately responding to those lifestyle choices, to those habits that we're engaging in on a day-to-day basis, we could have a prescription or an intervention to those to make sure that we, again, would see lifestyle change, we would see actual cellular change, and the morphing, the cellular morphosis that's occurring, that's creating disease, would not happen. So we're now treating health rather than treating disease. And when we treat health, it gives us an opportunity to perform at a higher level, gives us an opportunity to truly level ourselves up in every way, shape, and form, from the way we think, the way we breathe, the way we metabolize food, the energy we have, the way we sleep, and the way that we parent and ultimately run our business. So next time that we want to figure out how to get moving forward in this and get one of these tests at that cellular level, make sure you DM us either on Instagram or here on YouTube. Our team is constantly monitoring, and we can ultimately get back and give you more information into this, because the more information we have, the more educated we are, the better decisions we can make. And when we make better decisions, we get better results, and we ultimately can be different. Because what do we know about this? Success is different. So be different and truly own it. Again, guys, if this was your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, get videos like this all the time so that you can ultimately use this information and take yourself to the next level. Go own it.